Welcome, race fans, to another great night of racing live on ETV Live. Tonight, 12 drivers, 10 races, 1 trophy. And on November 18th, we'll know who will be going home with the 2012 Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series Championship. We would like to take this opportunity to thank Bob Earl and BobEarlRacing.com for donating the VRC Mark II Virtual Racing Chassis as a championship trophy for Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series. Tonight, chase race number 1, Chicagoland Speedway, the best of the best from Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series. Calling the action tonight, Mike Keaton, and from the Fast Track Racing Series, celebrity track announcer Wesley Outland. Reporting from pit road tonight, Joshua Harbison. Broadcasting live on ETV Live and the ETV Live radio. Look for us on iTunes, TuneIn Radio, and Windows Media Guide. Let's take it to the booth and get the party started. Here are Michael Keaton and Wesley Outland.
Hello, race fans, and welcome to race number 27 at Chicagoland. Wesley, 107 laps around this mile-and-a-half racetrack. Couldn't set it up for a better night than with 10 races to go. It's the chase for the race, baby.
26 races, and this is what everybody has been gunning for to tonight, September the 17th, in the year 2012. 12 drivers, ironically in the same year, 2012, are going to duke it out for that RSR Full Throttle Cup Series Championship, and it all starts here tonight at the mile-and-a-half of Chicagoland Speedway.
And in mention with the 26th race last Monday night, David Lanza cracking into that top 12 position that he so desperately needed to get in to make this chase. He won last week at Richmond, Wesley, and Guy Snyder finishing in a solid second spot.
That's right. You had a tardy slip. We had some technical issues, and it kind of put us behind schedule. But when everything was said and done, when the dust cleared and the smoke settled, of course, this is a dirt track racing. This is asphalt racing. But when it was all done and over with, David Lanza did go to victory lane. A tough, tough break for Landon Huffman. Of course, J.D. Webb, our executive producer, along with John Wesley, we were in the broadcast booth covering that event at Richmond. And Landon's Huffman's race to lose, Mike Rowe, and Mike Keaton, I'm sorry. Every time they come for the restart, contact, caution, and finally somebody caught Landon Huffman on the restart. A matter of fact, it was Steve Ritter that took himself out of championship contention with the contact with Landon Huffman. Huffman would still be in the chase, but took that Richmond victory away from him, and that was David Lanza's for the taking.
Yeah, looking back and doing my homework on that race at Richmond last week, Wesley, Landon Huffman had that race sealed up, as you mentioned, led 100 laps. And but like you said, David Lanza sneaking by and getting that victory that he so desperately needed to keep into that top 12 in the chase here.
Absolutely, and let's bring in another member of our broadcast crew and get his thoughts as we get ready for round number 1 in the chase for the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series Championship. Let's bring down onto pit road Joshua Harbison. Joshua, what's the thoughts of these 31 charter members of the Fraternal Order of Go Fast as they get ready up and gallop around Chicagoland Speedway tonight?
Well, most of the people here, they're talking about they like their cars. They're loose on the start, so we're gonna have some exciting starts, and they're mostly gonna talk about 4-tire stops because at take 2 you just get too loose, and we're looking about 55 to 57 laps on fuel tonight.
Absolutely, absolutely, and of course, Michael Keaton, everything just totally resets. Talk about the points because they have reset it after last week's events at Richmond, which now the chase starts tonight.
Absolutely. Looking at the top, we're going to mention the top 12 here because that's what counts. And leading in the charge, finishing 24th last week, mind you, Landon Huffman still able to hold on to that points lead. He's out front.
Go ahead and give the top 6, and then I'll give the half 6. I'm still waiting on mine to pop up, okay? Go ahead.
Chad Cole just 3 points behind Landon Huffman with a shakeup of points, and Guy Snyder tied into that second spot with Chad Cole, also 3 points behind. Sitting in fourth, also with a bad finish last week, is R.J. Williams. Look for that brand new paint scheme he's sporting tonight, that ETV radio car. He's sitting fourth in points, just 6 back from Landon Huffman, the points leader, but not too far out of that second and third spot. Jay Horton looking in fifth spot. The guy's been really good all year long, consistent. 6 top 5s, 6 top 10s, 8 last week. Jay Horton sitting fifth in points, 12 behind. And Adam Roberts sitting in sixth in points. He'll start the number 6 spot from tonight, 15 points behind the leader.
And, of course, from 7th through 12th, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, you have got Adam Roberts, Chad Schilling, David Lanza, Doug Roth, Eric Arnold, John Abbott, and Joseph Hayes, all negative 15 points behind the championship points leader of Landon Huffman. It's anybody's for the taking. Anybody from 12th can jump up to first right after the green flag falls in tonight's event at Chicagoland.
And this is what makes this thing so exciting, Wesley. It's like a playoff of the actual NASCAR series. I love this. I love what they do, the reset of the points. It puts everybody back on the playing field, 1 through 12. Joseph Hayes can come all the way from 12th back to first if he gets this victory tonight. And I'm telling you, with the 12 that we just mentioned, there's no better guys in this league, and that's been so more consistent than these guys have. And the rest of the guys who, like Nathan Bowers, John Gregorio, Joey Katina, Steve Ritter, as you mentioned, getting in a wreck last week, also real consistent. But I tell you, only 12 can make it, Wesley.
Oh, yes, you're exactly correct on that. Of course, stop it. You're exactly correct on that. I'm being teased by my wife here in the kitchen. But definitely everybody has got a definite shot. And by the way, man, I've just got to give great props to all of the hard work that ETV Live, and I'm not just tooting the horn because I'm one of their broadcasters, Mike Keaton, but all the work that John Wesleyan and J.D. Webb have gone into putting this event on here tonight for all 26 events. I'm so excited to be a part of it. My intentions are to follow the chase for the RSR Cup Championship all the way till the champion is crowned every Monday night until, November the 17th. We've got 2 months to get it done, and this is the thing, though. It'll be here before we know it, and it'll be done and over with.
It really will, Wesley. And I'm telling you, these guys are really pumped up about tonight. And just hearing them going through the different channels and the different race car drivers here tonight, they're all pumped. You know, this is the playoff. This is the NFL playoffs, if you will, for NASCAR. And these guys are so excited. And I believe that you're going to see a great race here at Chicagoland. What better track to kick this thing off than that Chicagoland? This track is so fun, Wesley.
Absolutely, you're definitely correct on that. Joshua Harbison activity continuing along pit road as practice is about to come to a close. They'll be qualifying here shortly. What's the activity and the mood on drivers is qualifying? Qualifying has started. What's some of the driving moves that these guys have made here around the 1.5 miles of Chicagoland Speedway?
As we expected, Landon Huffman's, he's first with a 30.3, followed by Steve Ritter and R.J. Williams. But they're all liking their cars. Like I said, they're a little loose, but
and a car in the wall already. Nathan Bowers, heavy smoke coming from the rear end of his car. Nathan Bowers in the 85 Chevrolet. I don't know what happened to him, but he just hand grenaded the motor probably in the qualifying run he had there, Mike Keaton.
Yeah, he shows to be sitting 17th right now currently, Wesley. 31.371. And Josh, we're going to go to you for an update on a race car driver not able to make the race tonight.
Yes, sir. Nathan Little's reporting that he's having connection problems, and he is going to have to back out of this race. So he's not really in the running, I don't believe. So he'll just doesn't really affect the points.
Absolutely, you're definitely correct on that. Again, Joshua Harbison working hard on the pit road. And I'll tell you what, I think we're getting closer and closer to qualifying wrapping up, and we're just getting ready to light the fireworks on this exciting event here in night number 1 of the chase for the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series Championship here from Chicagoland Speedway. Let's take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we should be ready to go to the grid, opening ceremonies, prayer, national anthem, and get ready to drop the green flag, Mike Keaton, on what should be a great, great race here tonight in race number 1 of the Chase.
Hey.
Hey, welcome back again to the race number 1 in the chase for the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series Championship. I'm Wesley Outland, guest announcer all the way till we go to Homestead, baby. Michael Keaton is our play-by-play man. Well, I don't know. I guess we're both going to be fighting for the play-by-play spot because we're both good at what we do, Michael. But, man, it's the chase. I'm excited it's here at Chicagoland, buddy.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, with just about a minute away, qualifying will be wrapped up. Right now, 18 drivers on the board. Right now, Landon Huffman being shown that pole sitter, but still qualifying is yet to be completed here at Chicagoland, and I'm with you, Wesley. I'm just pumped up. The points start over. Everybody's minds start to wonder about, hey, how am I going to do in this chase? The only thing that matters is the top 12 here at Chicagoland in the points here, Wesley. And when we return, we'll hear the engines firing up at Chicagoland Speedway, taking you to the national anthem here now.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem has been wrapped up by... Who sung that there? Who sung that for us? The Cactus Cuties. Man, I tell you what, they have got a beautiful voice and just a great rendition of our national anthem in this great, great land that we live on. Well, I'll tell you what, they're lined up behind the back of the Mustang pace car. We're ready to get the command to fire the engines here in a moment. And let's give them that starting lineup as we get ready for race number 1 to the chase from the 1.5 mile in Illinois, Chicagoland Speedway.
Pole sitter Landon Huffman in the 75 machine gonna lead them to the green here tonight, Wesley. Steve Ritter in that 16 Chevrolet starting on the outside.
Row number 2 on the inside, it's the 21 of R.J. Williams into his outside. Dwayne Vincent in the 13, he'll start 4th.
Starting in that 3rd row in the number 5 spot, the 45 machine of Kel Dresbach. Outside him, no other than the number 10 of John Abbott.
Continuing on with a position number, row 4 inside, car number deuce of Ronnie Potts. And his outside, the 33, he was on, and the winner is Motorsports Show earlier tonight. David Lanza, winner last week at Richmond.
Starting 9th in the 25 machine, Chad Schilling. And in that famous DeWalt machine, Chad Cole, number 17, starting 10th.
Continuing on with the lineup, we go now to row number 6 on the inside, the 44, like a Rolling Stone cowboy, it's Glenn Campbell, and his outside, it's starting 12th outside, in the 83, it's Jay Horton.
Starting 13th tonight in that Navy Nuke 47 machine, Eric Arnold. Outside him in the 06 is Bruce Perry.
Row number 8 inside, it's Guy Snyder in the 27 at his outside. J. Randall Watkins, he's in the 3, he'll start 16th.
Starting in that Outlaw Country Chevrolet number 7, Timmy Longwood. Outside him, the 85, who got into a little bit of trouble during the qualifying run, that's Nathan Bowers.
And then, of course, the rest of the rundown are drivers that did not take time. Row number 10, Jonathan Cadell and R.C. Rigdon.
21st rolling off in the number 32 machine, Rich Jett. Outside him, the 63 Chevrolet of Wyatt Wolf Jr.
And to give you a quick rundown of the rest of the rundown as they're on the backstretch ready to come to green, Greg Netherwood will start 23rd. 24th is Joseph Hayes. 25th is C.J. LeVere. 26th is Ed Williams Jr. 27th is James Hurts, and give us the rest of the rundown at 32.
Wyatt Wolf, the senior, 61 starting 28th. 29th in the 97 machine, Nathan Little. He also could not make tonight's race, but starting 30th, Keith Brooks Jr., Stephen Herring, and bringing up the rear, Wesley Randall Holcomb.
And that is the full field rundown, ladies and gentlemen. We are ready. We are set. The 2012 Chase for the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series comes to green here at Chicagoland Speedway, and we are underway as Landon Huffman gets a great jump into turn number 1. Ritter, Williams, Vincent, Dresbach, the top 5 as they exit off 2.
Ritter getting a little bit of shaky coming off to there, Wesley, giving the leader, Landon Huffman, a little bit of breathing room as the 21 machine, that ETV Radio Chevrolet, looking underneath for second.
He'll definitely peek down to the inside, and what a great rate of plug, the ETV Online Auto Sports Entertainment Network. Then with the colors that R.J. Williams is holding on that number 21 Chevrolet. Dwayne Vincent sits there on the outside lane as Steve Ritter. He's trying to do everything but throw the kitchen sink at him. He bobs a little bit going into turn 1. 1 lap complete. Everybody gets by successful. Huffman leads off 2. We got a caution on the racetrack. Trouble on the speedway. What's going on?
Eric Arnold, the Navy Nuke Chevrolet 47 machine, running back at 29, spins it on his own. Wesley, contact with the wall, heavy contact. He's going to have a little bit of damage, Joshua, when he comes down pit road. That's Eric Arnold.
And the caution is out, and let's go to Joshua Harbinson. What are they talking about on the 47 of Eric Arnold? Doesn't look like it's damaged as he's on the backstretch in the Navy entry.
They say he got loose. That's the problem they're going to have to be battling with the whole race on the startups. He just got loose and lost it.
Absolutely, and we're going to take a look here on the replay here in just a second. Oh, yeah, just simply looped it around. And Glenn, oh, yeah, here we go. On the replay, Looped it around there. Got into Glenn Campbell, didn't he, Mike Keaton?
I think he
looked like from the monitor.
Yeah, it looked like he got a little bit of arrow loose maybe from Glenn Campbell, and that sent that 47 machine awfully sideways, and Eric just couldn't keep it off the wall. There you see him hitting the front stretch there, outside wall, nearly missing R.C. Rigdon. Coming to a stop, though, 47's got damage.
Let's go to pit road. Joshua Harbison, he's on pit road. The Navy 47 is there.
Yeah, they're working on the car, trying to beat out the fenders. They're gonna take 4 tires and some fuel. If they can get it fixed in time, he's gonna try and stay on the lead lap.
Absolutely, and just as fast as the race gets started, less than 2 minutes past the green flag, caution flag number 1. Let's talk a little bit about the weather here. It's clear, sun is shining, great temperatures for racing in the September months. Less than 4 days of fall. It's 78 degrees, a little north wind blowing at 2 miles per hour. That north wind is going to cause a little bit of aero push on the front end of these cars, but as the race progresses, I'm pretty certain the air temperature is going to change as well on the racetrack. 4 degrees in the turns. It's definitely a not very banked racetrack there. Like I said, 1.5 miles, only 4 degrees in the corners. This is what you would call a flat racing surface, as we should get ready to go to green. Mike Keaton this time by.
Yeah, Chicagoland is one of those tracks that a lot of...
waved off the restart. Caution lights are back on.
Chicagoland is just one of those tracks, Wesley, that a lot of guys can just bring... their setup and try to adjust as the race goes on, because this track is real fast and it's real grit-minded too. And you can stick these cars in the first set of groove there, in the second set of groove, and keep traction. And that's what makes this track so much fun for these guys.
Absolutely, and of course we should be ready to go for the restart here in probably another lap. We are on lap number 4 of 107. 107 laps is the distance here in race number 1. And like to send a shout out to one of our listeners tuning in, Dalton England, listening on the ETV Live Online Auto Sports Entertainment Network. Dalton, hope you're enjoying race number 1 of the chase. That the bottom line, the definitive broadcast of sim racing, ETV is providing. Mike Rowe, damn, I always keep doing that. Mike Keaton, we will get ready to go for the restart here in a moment. I don't know if I call you Mike Rowe because you sound like the guy from hell, I can't even think of the TV show now. Deadliest Catch? I'm thinking of Chevrolet. I'm thinking of the Ford, maybe. That's why, Ford Mustang. I'm thinking of Mike Rowe talking about Ford. No, it's Mike Keaton in the house. So they call him Batman, but I'm always about professionalism and having their real names thrown out there. Top 10, Landon Huffman, R.J. Williams, Steve Ritter, Dwayne Vincent, and Kel Dresbach. I'm trying to change the subject, give them the bottom 5 as we get ready to come to green, hopefully.
Yeah, this time by pace light should go off that Mustang pace car up there with 1 signal to go. And I tell you, I'm looking back here in the back, number 20 spot here, 69 of Joseph Hayes. He's sitting on that bubble in the 12th spot, if you will, Wesley. He's got a long way to go, didn't qualify. Trying to get word with the crew chief to see if that car's set up good for tonight. But it looks like Joseph Hayes in a little bit of a situation there back in the mid-pack.
Yeah, the pace car lights finally cut off on the Ford Mustang. This was a longer caution flag than what I think it needed to be. But we are not the officials. We don't make the shots. They're going to give us the one-to-go indication this time by almost, 4 laps under caution. And nobody came down on the pit road. Joshua Harbison, why did nobody take any pit stops? Is it just too darn early in the race?
Yeah, it's just too early. They're actually probably going to try and see what their cars are going to do on the tires they have. There's no need in giving up position now.
And as the pace car and Landon Huffman leads them out of 2, Josh, real quick, what's the word on Joseph Hayes? He's hitting 12th in points.
Right now, Joseph Hayes, he's just going to stay in the back and try to save some tires and save some fuel and try not to get mixed up into anything until the end of the race when it matters.
There you go, Wesley. 12th in points, Joseph Hayes. A little bit of strategy staying in the back tonight.
You're exactly right. Yes, you're exactly right. And, of course, that Ford Mustang pace car gets ready to drop on the pit road. We'll get ready for the second restart here in race number 1 for the chase. And ETV is ready to crank it up as we'll get ready for the pace car to come out of turn number 4. Here we go, Mike.
Reach over to your stereo volumes and crank it up. Green flag at Chicagoland Speedway.
Oh, yeah, the sound of the cars as they make their way down into turn number 1 and 2. It is the chase for the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series Championship. And Mike Keaton, it doesn't get any better than that. I can sleep with that in my backyard. Right now, we're 8 complete. Landon Huffman leads them off 4.
Yeah, Landon Huffman's got that Sim Sheet Chevrolet hooked up real close and fast. He's completing lap number 9 here at Chicagoland. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Steve Ritter and R.J. Williams at the restart had a little bit of contact, but those guys have settled back down as they run single file coming out of 2.
Oh, we got almost a 3-wide battle coming up. Chad Cole's the meat and the sandwich. He's trying to run down David Lanza, Richmond winner last weekend. And, of course, Ronnie Potts. Those guys will go at it. Potts to the outside, Lanza to the inside in the National Guard Chevrolet. Meanwhile, Cole's under attack. Chad Schilling for 10th goes to the inside. Position 7 through 10. It's hot and heavy now. Potts up to the outside lane of David Lanza, back to the inside as they go into 1.
Lanza scoots up the track a little bit, washing Ronnie way high, but he's going to safely come out of 2.
Wow, they're 3 wide. Chad Cole tried to thread the needle. He thought better of it. He backed off. Here comes David Lanza. Lanza trying to go to position number 6. He'll try to pass John Abbott out of turn number 3 and 4, back to 1.
Still Ronnie Potts hanging on to the outside line. I told you, Chicagoland's famous for the 2 multiple groove racetrack. Ronnie Potts on the outside. Lanza, Chad Cole, Chad Schilling, all fighting for 8th.
7th spot is where they're battling out, and of course that will continue to go on. And bottom line there, Mike, it's the best battle on the racetrack. One more time, Lanza to the inside of Potts, Potts to the outside lane. Cole goes 3 wide, slide job. He'll throw the slider into turn number 4, back to the main straightaway. He'll try to do a dirt track move and make it stick. Meanwhile, Lanza cuts off Potts on the outside in 1, then drops back to the inside and cuts off Cole, exiting off 2.
Chad Cole trying to find a little bit of grip here at Chicagoland Speedway. He's doing so down low. Ronnie Potts burning the right front up on that number 2 Bone Collector Chevrolet coming out of 4.
They are not backing down 1 inch. They'll come to the flag stand this time by 13 on the board of 107. Long way to go. Short time to get there. Now they'll all fan out single file. I'll tell you what, Joshua Harbinson, that probably would have been, nope, not anymore. Never mind. Chad Cole now trying to size up David Lanza. The hell with trying to be single file and let the laps go away. These guys are fighting for every inch they can here in the chase race 1 at Chicagoland Speedway. They're in 3.
I tell you, Chad Cole and that DeWalt Ford's got that machine hooked up tonight as he works David Lanza just ahead in 7th position.
And they come back down to the line, Landon Huffman. While that continues to go on, let's pick up your leader on lap 15. Lanza down the back straightaway, going to turn number 3 this time by. We got a great battle heating up for 2nd spot. Steve Ritter's got it. R.J. Williams wants it in the ETV. Rock radio entry. He pushes him up the track into turn number 4. And then, of course, you got that little dog leg, or the tri-oval, so to speak. Meanwhile, here comes Dwayne Vincent. He'll play Top Gun with Steve Ritter. He'll bypass the machine of Williams as they exit off 2. Oh, my.
Steve Ritter leading the charge, coming out of 2 in the number 2 position. 13 of Dwayne Vincent battling that ATV radio Chevrolet of 21 of R.J. Williams, who's sitting 4th in points.
Oh, wow. This battle continues to go on. It's Huffman out in front. Ritter 2, Williams 3, Vincent 4. 5th is Kel Dressback. Then it's Abbott, Lanza, Cole, Potts, and Chili. The top 10 in round 1 of the chase at Chicagoland Speedway. Huffman still holding on to the lead. It's going to be Steve Ritter in the number 2 spot, the ETV Live Radio Chevrolet, and they're about to close it on back marker cars. Man, about to go a lap down here in a moment. It's going to be C.J. LeVere as they go into turn number 3.
Looking all the way from first, all the way back to 29th. Not a single car side by side just yet, Wesley. Everyone's single file, kind of measuring up the guy just ahead of them.
You're exactly right. Let's go to the pits real quick. Joshua Harbinson, we're 17 laps into this event. What are people talking about pitting? We've only had one caution in the event. That was lap 2. How's things going right now in the first quarter of the race?
Going pretty good. Everybody's getting dialed in with their car and looking at pit stops around. Look for pit stops around 50 to 55 laps into it, Mike.
We just had a pass for second spot. The number 21 machine, R.J. Williams, picking up the number 2 spot over Steve Ritter. It was pretty easy as we saw the 21 machine take over the spot. Now he's got his eyes set on that race leader, Landon Huffman, who's pulled to a little bit of over half a second away.
Oh, I don't want to be a man of favoritism, but wouldn't it be something else if the ETV Live Radio Chevrolet won race number 1 in the chase? Being on ETV Live Auto Sports Entertainment Network, it would be awesome. He's in second. Huffman leads again off 2.
Looking back here in the 7th spot, Chad Cole once again making the move on David Lanza, gets by him in that Ford DeWalt machine. That's your second place in points, battling the number 8th place in points there, David Lanza. So a couple of guys in position for the chase here, Wesley, battling each other on early.
You're absolutely correct on that. Huffman, Williams, Ritter, Vincent, Dretzbach are the top 5 for the moment. Nobody is breaking out of line, and of course a 1-second lead Huffman has over Williams. Will he reel him back in? Meanwhile, Fierce racing on in the back outside the top 10 for 11th, 12th, and 13th. The Rhinestone Cowboy, Glenn Campbell's under attack. Guy Snyder the 4th. Glenn Campbell has got all he's got to deal with him, reeling him in. And here comes Jay Horton and R.C. Rigdon in that gunfight, also out of 4.
Sitting in that number 12 spot, you mentioned his name, Guy Snyder. He sits 3rd in points. He's got to sneak up there into the top 10. No caution so far. 21 laps completed here. We've had 1 caution, excuse me, but after that, no cautions after that.
It's going to take somebody throwing a monkey wrench on this racetrack to have a caution flag fall. Bottom line, everybody is all strung out around the racetrack. The leaders have already started the lapping process, and I'm pretty certain we're going to see a battle going on now for the number 5th spot. It's heating up big time. Kel Dressback under attack by John Abbott. Abbott on the inside, Dressback on the outside. They'll battle door to door. Both Chevrolets duke it out in 1 and 2.
John Abbott trying to get that racedepartment.com Chevrolet back up towards the front. He started 6th. He's sitting 6th, and he's trying to work Kel Dressback to crack into the top 5 for the first time tonight.
Absolutely, and of course, Landon Huffman is the man that's out in front. We are still clean and green after that caution back on lap number 2, which means we're going through 22 laps of green flag racing on the ETV Live Online Auto Sports Entertainment Network. Race number 1 in the chase for the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series Championship. I'm Wesley Outland, reality race announcer. Alongside is Mike Keaton, the voice of RSR Full Throttle Cup Series, and of course we've also got Joshua Harbinson on pit road. Executive producer in the suites high above the 1.5-mile Chicagoland Speedway in Joliet, Illinois, munching on some chicken wings and some of the awesome food that ISE provides, is J.D. Webb from Chino, California. And then, of course, also John Wesley. They call him Magic Fingers out of the Hoosier State, Indiana, keeping up with the action and making us look good. We got a 4-car battle for the top 5. Kel Dressback's got it. John Abbott, John Cole, David Lanza, they want it. It heats up. Now making 5 cars. Chad Schilling gets in that mix. It's heating up as they go into turn 1, Mike.
Other than Kel Dressback, John Abbott, Chad Cole, David Lanza, all and Chad Schilling all in the top 12 for the chase here, battling for that number 5 spot. These guys have got to make every spot count as they try to work on that 45 machine of Cal Dresbach in 5th spot.
That battle continues along, and of course Landon Huffman will come to the start-finish line, and he'll put lap number 26 on the board. And we've got a caution on the racetrack, trouble on the Speedway. What happened there, Mike Keaton?
69 machine of Joseph Hayes coming out of 2, just couldn't keep that car straight. He loses it, hits the wall, guys. Joseph Hayes, who sits 12th in points, 15 behind the leader, hits the wall. He's got heavy, heavy damage.
And the caution flag is out, and I am for certain that drivers are probably going to come to pit road. What are they talking about? Joshua Harbinson, our pit reporter for ETV Online Radio.
Everybody's talking about a 4-tire stop and some fuel, and not very many adjustments. They know it's going to be loose at the start, but it looks like it's coming in at the end of the run.
Everybody, will they come to pit road? They all drop to the inside. It's showtime for Joshua Harbinson. The field, the entire field, drops onto pit road. Let's go to Harbinson for pit stops.
Yeah, following Landon Huffman in. He's heading toward his pit box. He's going to take a 4-tire stop and fuel. He's calling for no adjustments. He likes his car just the way it is. And right behind him,
all the 21 overshots this pit. The ETV Live car of R.J. Williams. He overshot the pit mark, Joshua.
yeah, he did. He missed his call from the crew chief, and he couldn't get on the brakes or end it in time, so he's going to have to make another lap.
What a disappointment, and 2 cars came off on the racetrack. 1 car pitted and overshot the pit mark. That was the 21 of R.J. Williams, and the 27 of Guy Snyder, the 4th. He did not pit either. What a strategy move, Mike Keaton, on the Gulf Oils number 27 Chevrolet of Guy Snyder.
Well, I got to think that Guy Snyder stayed out for that precious bonus point here. He's sitting 3 points behind the leader, Landon Huffman. He will pit this time by. He just stayed out to get that bonus point, Wesley.
Absolutely, and with that, we are going to go to commercial break. Let's go to commercial break real quickly, and we'll be right back, as you're not going to miss a thing. Under caution here in race 1 of the chase, we're going to go side by live on the ETV Live Online Auto Sports Entertainment Network, and we'll be ready to go back to green flag and the restart after this. Hey, welcome back again to round number 1 in the chase for the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series Championship. And by the way, I'm Wesley Allen, host of And the Winner is Motorsports Show every Monday from 6 to 8 with my partner, the Racing Devil, Mike Neville. I can't do it like him. Anyhow, join us on Mondays from 6 to 8 for Race Talk, and join Sean Peachin and company for the Open Paddock, everything open wheel talk. We're getting ready to come for the restart. When we do, we'll recap some of the excitement that happened as the green flag gets ready, as pace car scampers on the pit road. He hightails it from the field, and Landon Huffman's on the gas, and he's gone. 30 laps complete. What an awesome first 30 we've had here in this Chicagoland 107 here for the race.
Little bit of contact back in the 8th spot. Glenn Campbell, Ronnie Potts, Chad Schilling escaping danger.
Well, let's talk about the pit stops. How wild was the pit stops? And I know one man laid a 9-second pit stop to pit road real quick as they come full song down the main straightaway. Joshua Harbison, who put down that awesome pit stop during the caution.
That pit stop was done by the number 6 car, Bruce Perry. His crew was dead on it today trying to get us in position.
Absolutely, absolutely. And of course, this great race, this great battle continues amongst the entire pack. Everybody that's watching here on the ETV Live Online Auto Sports Entertainment Network. Landon Huffman in his own world. Steve Ritter's in second. Remember, these guys had some history in Richmond last Monday night, Mike, as they made contact and wrecked each other. It took out Huffman's chance in the race, but Ritter, it took out his chances in the chase. Ritter just trying to win races. Bottom line, that's all he's doing now.
There's some big battling shaping up here in mid-pack. 6th place on back, starting with David Lanza, Glenn Campbell, John Abbott's in the mix, and that lime green 19 machine of R.C. Rigdon all over the back door of the number 2 machine of Ronnie Potts. And then the 19 car's got 25 all over his rear end.
Absolutely, and Huffman still holding on to the top spot. Steve Ritter second, Vincent third, and that's about to heat up here in just a moment as we'll go to the camera views on that. Vincent's got it. Drasback wants it, and don't count out the DeWalt Power Tools Chevrolet of Chad Cole. He's ready to sneak in there and take candy from a baby. Make the other 2 cry as they go to 4.
I'm telling you, Chad Cole's got that DeWalt Ford machine on a rail. He's looking at the number 45 machine of Kel Drasback in the 4th spot just ahead. But your race leader's still out front, led every one of them except for one. Landon Huffman in the 75 car.
Oh, he is out in front and never looking back, but it's still a long way to go. And a short time to get there in race 1 of the chase. Huffman, Ritter, Vincent, Drasback. Let's give them a full field rundown as we just passed lap number 35 this time by. Huffman leads, Ritter second, Vincent third, Drasback fourth, Chad Cole is in 5th. Then it's David Lanza, Glenn Campbell, John Abbott, R.C. Rigdon, Ronnie Potts, and of course Chad Schilling 11th, Jay Horton 12th, Bruce Perry is 13th, 14th is R.J. Williams, 15th is Rich Jett, and here is Mike Keaton to give us the rest of the rundown from 16th on back.
Last time by, Jay Randall Watkins in that number 16 spot. Wyatt Wolf Sr. picking up a couple of spots. He's in 17th now. In the number 7 machine, Timmy Logwood sitting in 18th. James Hurts, move him up to 19th. Guy Snyder, he needs some sort of a miracle right now. He's sitting 20th. 21st belongs to Keith Brooks Jr. The Navy Nuke, after the wreck, has worked that machine back up towards the number 22 spot. Ed Williams Jr. sporting the ETV car. He sits 23rd. Nathan Bowers, who couldn't quite make it in qualifying position, sitting 24th. White Wolf Jr., move him up to 25th. Joseph Hayes, he's going to need a miracle as he sits 12th in the points here, Wesley, sitting 26th on the track right now. 14 laps down, Jonathan Cadell, trouble on the racetrack.
Problems in turn number 1. Bruce Perry has hand grenaded a motor. His car immediately on pit road. He's done for.
06 machine, Bruce Perry, heavy damage. We just mentioned James Hurts. He's in that To Infinity and Beyond Chevrolet Buzz Lightyear Toy Story. James Hurd sitting in 20th spot, kills the motor as well. Bruce Perry also involved. He kills the motor. 71 Machine. Keith Brooks Jr. involved, sitting 21st spot.
And the caution flag is out. We were given the full field rundown, and the yellow flag is out.
2 cars on the racetrack, blown motors, Wesley, early on here at Chicagoland Speedway. I tell you, what a tough break for some of these competitors.
Definitely, definitely. Let's go to pit road. Joshua Harbison, what you got for us, buddy? 2 guys, hand grenade motors are done for.
Yeah, Bruce Perry is just the damage hitting the wall. His engine's done, and he collected the Buzz Lightyear car of Hertz, and both their nuts are done. I don't think they can fix that damage.
Yeah, I think right now Bruce Perry is having words with James Hertz, and he's saying, "You're not a toy. You are a car, and you just wrecked me." Caution is out. The field comes to pit road. Joshua Harbison, let's go to you on pit road. Cars are on pit road.
75, he almost missed his pit stop. He's sideways, but he's going to take 4 tires and a full tank of gas. Same thing with the 21 car. He's going to take 4 tires and some gas, and he's off. First one off is Huffman.
Oh, the race off pit road was almost 4 wide. Lanza was the only man that didn't come to pit road, and also Chad Schilling, Huffman, Ritter, Vincent Dressback. They went at it 4 wide, and coming out of it looking good was Landon Huffman. He's 3rd.
Yep, right now, David Lanza being shown your race leader. He needs the bonus points. He'll pick up a couple. Chad Schilling was also trying to pull the same strategy. But when we return, things will shake back up, and more than likely, your race leader, Landon Huffman, will continue his hunt for victory here at Chicagoland Speedway. We'll be right back.
Hey, JD here with ETV Live, and let me tell you something. If it's too big for the pickup truck and you need to move it, there's only one trucking company you need to call, and don't bother with the Yellow Pages Cowboy. I'll give you that number in a minute. Manufactured goods, automotive, technical equipment, furniture, even if you need a reefer, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated is the only choice, Cowboy. With locations in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, Rancho Cucamonga, California, if you need to move it, store it, and keep it cold, you need to call Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated. Long haul, short haul, or just across town, Gary Mercer has the best trained and qualified drivers to get your load from point A to point B with professionalism and on time. So remember, Hoss, if it don't fit in a pickup truck, you're going to need a real truck, Cowboy. Sponsors of ETV Live's Friday Night Showdown, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated, 1-800-668-2980. And welcome back to Chicagoland Speedway, race number 1, Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series. Working caution number 2 here at Chicagoland, I believe. Bruce Perry in a little bit of trouble, but I want to tell you about VRC Mark II Virtual Racing Seat, sponsoring the Real Sim races here. The simulation racing cockpit designed by championship race car driver Bob Earl. Now, who better to build yourself a virtual racing cockpit for your simulation racing game than a real race car driver? I tell you, he knows what it means to have a comfortable racing seat. The design features a fully adjustable seat and frame, additional monitor stand, and shifter mount sold separately. A high quality and affordable alternative. Heck, it's a birthday present, Cowboy. Better than those that cost thousands of dollars, $349 plus shipping. You can see it at BobRollRacing.com. Order one tonight. BobEarlRacing.com. Hey, let's take it back up to the booth to Michael Keaton and Wesley Outland.
Well, thank you so much, J.D. Webb. Again, we are live here at Joliet, Illinois, Chicago Speedway, part of the International Speedway Corporation family, and it's race number 1 of the Bob Earl Race Seat Challenge that we simply call the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series Chase for the championship. And race 1 is tonight. Again, I'm Wesley Outland. We've got, again, Michael Keaton. They call him the Batman. He's alongside in the booth beside me. And Joshua Harbitson on pit road. We're on lap number 41. On completion, they'll come to the green on lap 42. The green is out. We're back underway. Chad Schilling leads the charge. And he sets sail, Mike, off into turn 1. But here comes Huffman and Ritter. They'll battle door to door. Now cut out Vincent. He's in 4th.
Ritter and the 75 machine of Lennon Huffman side by side coming out of 2 as they go down the backstretch. Your leader, keep in mind, on 8 laps of old tires. That's the 25 machine. Dwayne Vincent looking underneath Steve Ritter, maybe for 3 wide, but thinks better of it, gets back in line. Still 2 by 2 is the 75 and 16 of Steve Ritter as they try to track down your race leader, Chad Schilling. Coming off 2, Landon Huffman still holding on to the outside as they now narrow the gap between Chad Schilling and themselves. Steve Ritter's got the run in 3. He sees if he can come out of 4 with that 2nd spot. Going into 1 still side by side, Steve Ritter, Landon Huffman. They're side by side coming out of 2. Chad Schilling, who's on a little bit of old lap tires. He's in the lead right now, but not for long. Here comes Landon Huffman to the outside.
All that battle continues. Here comes Ritter. Huffman hung out to dry like a drafted Talladega, which will be coming up in the chase later on as well. Now he'll sneak and slither his way back for that spot. He'll cut off Dwayne Vincent, close in on him. He'll run down Ritter one more time. Now Vincent says, no way, buddy. I'm going to the inside. He'll battle now on the machine of Huffman. Huffman hung out to dry. Nobody wants to work with the 75 as they go to 3, Mike.
Dwayne Vincent looking underneath that 75 machine of Landon Huffman, but who's got the lead? Steve Ritter looking underneath Chad Schilling coming out of 4 here, Wesley.
Schilling doing everything but throw the kitchen sink at Ritter. Ritter not backing down. Ritter's got nothing to lose. He can race to win. He can wreck to win. It's an early going race, but we've seen it happen before. Ritter jumps out in front of Chicagoland. 3rd lead change of the event. Schilling leads off turn 2.
Steve Ritter takes the lead down the backstretch. Chad Schilling looking to hold off that 75 machine of Landon Huffman. And a hot pursuit I've been watching is that number 13 machine, Dwayne Vincent, as Huffman almost escapes the wall.
Oh, they are slicing and dicing like the Baker's dozen. Somebody find Brugger's Bagels Bakery, because that's what they're looking like on the racetrack. To the inside, to the outside, slicing, dicing. Here they come out of the corner. Ritter back to the bottom. And 1 car hung out to dry, the 25 and the 45. 25, Chad Schilling, he's dropping back. New leader, Ritter. He comes out of turn number 4. He'll take the lead at the line.
Chad Schilling going from 1st all the way back to about 6th spot, 7th spot. Wesley, he's got those old right sides on that machine, and it just ain't working too good for him right now.
You're exactly right. Ritter, Huffman, Vincent, Cole, Dressback is the top 5. We're coming up on lap number 50. As again, 107 laps is the distance. So when they come to the line, there'll be 59 laps to go here in the events at Chicagoland Speedway. The Bob Earl race seat is what everybody's fighting for, valued at over $400. Steve Ritter, he's out of the chase. He's just trying to get race wins. He leads over Huffman. Big lead in turn 1.
Looking back in the number 5th spot, Carol Drasbeck giving way to that number 21 machine of R.J. Williams. He's no stranger to the front as he cracks the top 5.
Oh, this race is far from over. They'll come to the line this time by, and they'll put lap number 50 on the board. Lap 50 at completion. Let's see what happened to Chad Schilling. He's in 7th spot right now. Do you think because he did not hit Joshua Harbinson, that allowed these fast guys that pit just to sell by him on the restart after a couple of laps?
Yeah, the tires mean a lot right now, especially if he's on old tires. He's the only one that didn't pit. Even Lanza came in and pitted. He just wanted that 1 point. So, yeah, those tires are really hurting him right now.
You're exactly right. One thing is for sure, Michael Keaton, and this track is only 4 degrees of banking here, straight on the front stretch. It's a flat track. So what does that mean? You wear out your Hoosier rubber, a very big deal. Hoosier rubber, Goodyear rubber, same thing. It's tires. You're using it up, and they're doing it here at Chicagoland.
And also, one note that's real important here at Chicagoland, Wesley, you actually never go straight. The backstretch is a little bit cornered, if you will. These guys automatically turn and left the whole way around the track. And to give you an update on that 33 machine who did pit and restarted in the last position is now moved up into that number 14th spot. He's working RC Rigdon's Lime Green, JGSservers.com Chevrolet as they come across the line.
Oh, yeah, that battle continues on, and David Lanza, who was on the early going, making a run through the field, now sits behind the RC Rigdon Chevrolet. Meanwhile, wow, up in front of that battle, it's heating up. John Abbott trying to run down Ronnie Potts for 8th. He's looking to his inside. Cut him off goes Potts. He'll close in. They'll fan back out single file. It's still Ritter leading off 4.
Yet John Abbott actually pushing it so hard that he got up into the wall off 4 just a little bit, but no harm, no foul. He's still trying to hunt down that number 2 bone collector car that belongs to Ronnie Potts in 8th.
They will come to halfway this time by. Hard to believe this race is only, oh man, it's been a good one. We've already completed the first half and it's went by in less than 37 minutes. Been a good quick one. To halfway, we're home. Let's give you the full field rundown. The 1 car spin onto pit road. I think he did. We are still under the green, but I think someone's...
Chad Schilling.
Chad Schilling's car is spun out. He's hit the inside pit wall. He's right between the cone entrance, and I think the caution's out.
Actually still green on the Speedway. He's down and below. Race officials deeming it unnecessary to throw the yellow out here. Chad Schilling has pulled that car behind the garage. He sits 7th in the points.
Wow, you want to talk about an upset? I cannot believe that they did not throw that caution flag, but the officials thought better. They kept it green, and now the man out in front still is Steve Ritter. Give him a full field rundown, Mike Keaton, as we just passed halfway.
Steve Ritter, who is out of this chase but looking for that first win of the season. He's running first in the number 1 spot in this chase point standings. Landon Huffman, who's led a majority of the race laps so far, he can't quite close the door on Ritter. He sits 2nd. Dwayne Vincent sitting 3rd right now on the racetrack. He's also not in contention for points, but he's looking for that first win of the season for that crew. Sitting in 4th spot, Chad Cole. Join the fan club on Facebook. Chad Cole Facebook fan club. He's sitting number 4 spot on the field right now in that DeWalt Ford machine. Chad Cole looking sharp, sitting 2nd in the points.
Oh, by the way, I want to remind you as well, you can listen to the race on ETV Live on the HD Radio Network. If you're mobile, get the app. Tuned in, iTunes, Windows Media Guide, HDRadioNetwork.com, and of course, ETVLive-eplay.net for great racing like tonight's Race 1 of the Chase for the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series at Chicagoland. And the Winter is Motorsports Show every Monday night from 6 to 8 Eastern. And the Open Paddock, all open wheel IndyCar talk every Tuesday night at 9 o'clock, 9:30. It is ETVLive-eplay.net. It's the ETV Online Entertainment Sports Network. And of course, we are back at Chicagoland. Ritter, Huffman, Vincent, Cole, Williams, top 5, no change. Ritter's got nothing to gain out of this except one thing, a win on his mantle column. Get it done. The man that's only battling for the championship is in 2nd. Landon Huffman, all the 11 guys are trying to run him down, but Huffman, the points leader, is trying to run down Steve Ritter, who wrecked him at Richmond last week.
We just had a pass for the number 4 spot. Give it to R.J. Williams, trying to find some redemption from last week at Richmond, finishing 17th. He's sitting 4th on the racetrack right now, hunting down that 4th win of the season.
Rundown of the event, Ritter leads, Huffman is in 2nd, Vincent 3rd, no, not anymore now. R.J. Williams will go to 4th, 5th will go to Chad Cole, 6th to Kel Dradspack, 7th to Ronnie Potts, 8th to Guy Snyder the 4th, 9th to John Abbott, and 10th will go to Rhinestone Cowboy Glenn Campbell. 11th to David Lanza, 12th to R.C. Rigdon, 13th to Jay Horton, 14th to Rich Jett, 15th to Wyatt Wolf, and 16th to Timmy Logwood. Take on the rest of the field. Run down, Mike.
'17th, Eric Arnold, still trying to get that Navy Nuke machine up towards the front. He's sitting on that 10th spot right now. He's also looking for redemption from last week at Richmond, finishing 22nd. Just behind him, Joseph Hayes, also looking for some points here tonight. He's in the chase. He's sitting 12th in points, but 18th on the track. He's going to need some big-time adjustments on that machine. Keith Brooks Jr., 19th. J. Randall Watkins, 20th. White Wolf Jr., 21st. Nathan Bowers, 22nd. And finishing in the 23rd spot with no laps down is Ed Williams Jr.
Okay, and the rest of the rundown is going to be Williams, Schilling, Perry, Hertz, Cadell, Herring, and LeVere. That is your full field rundown of the 29 cars that started here at Chicagoland Speedway in race 1 of the chase. Steve Ritter's the man out in front. Landon Huffman under attack though. Mike Rowe, Dwayne Vincent on the inside of the 13 Chevrolet into turn 2.
Looks like Landon Huffman's going to hold on to that number 2 spot as Dwayne Vincent can't quite make the pass just yet. But I tell you, Steve Ritter is looking in that rearview mirror because it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger because Landon Huffman, last time by, just a tick faster as they come to the line. Who's got the quickest lap this time?
Oh, they'll come to the line this time by, and it looks like Huffman is .0221. Vincent's .0426. Will they make it stick? They'll come to the corner, down the back stretch. Now they get 5 cars. We're about to throw a blanket over them. It's getting interested. It's getting heated. Ritter, Huffman, Vincent, Williams, Cole, your top 5. From Chicagoland Speedway, we're going to break. You're tuned in to the ETV Online Auto Sports Entertainment Network with now 65 complete. Back with more right after this.
And welcome back to Chicagoland Speedway, race number 1, full cup, full series, full throttle, and it's happening. I'll tell you what, ETV Live Radio, the voice of simulation racing broadcasting, supported by HD Radio Network. ETV Live Radio features classic rock every hour, every day. You can also catch live events, just like the race you're listening to here tonight. And race day broadcast, Open Paddock Live at 9:30 p.m. Tuesday nights. And the winner is Motorsports Show every Monday night from 6 to 8 p.m. The Pit Report on Friday nights at 7 p.m. ETV Live Radio, featured in the sports section of iTunes. Get the mobile app from TuneIn.com and look for us on Windows Media Guide. ETV Live Radio on the HD Radio Network. Let's take it back up to the booth with Michael Keaton and Wesley Outland.
Oh, wow, it's heating up. We're on lap 70, this time by 37 laps to go. Put the women and children to bed. It's going to be a barn burner. Mike Keaton, Ritter, Huffman, Vincent, 3 wide when they were when J.D. Webb was talking about the action during the segment and bringing us back on. Now they fan out single file, and that allowed the ETV car of R.J. Williams to close in. Dude, we're seeing some awesome racing here in the late going. I'll make it 36 to go at Chicagoland.
Not a car length in separation here at Chicagoland Speedway. 3 out of your top 4 looking for that point chase championship of the year here. Dwayne Vincent sitting 3rd. He's not in the points, but the first 2 are, and the one behind him in the 21 machine, that's R.J. Williams. He's sitting in the ETV radio car, dialing it in, Wesley.
Oh, you're definitely correct, and Ritter still under attack from Huffman, Vincent, and Williams. They're going at it big time back into 1, but Ritter's got about 2 car lengths as they go back into the corner. As they cross the line, we're on lap 72.
You're right, Landon Huffman just a tick faster that last time. Faster than your race leader, Steve Ritter, but Steve is continuing to lead the march at Chicagoland Speedway. Going into 3, he'll gear it down to about 160 miles an hour, 155. Coming out of turn 4, Steve Ritter still hanging on to the lead.
Oh, it's heating up big time. Let's just go to pit road. Joshua Harbinson, what is the crew chief saying to Steve Ritter? Meanwhile, hold on a minute. Vincent trying to jump out of line. I'm telling you, Mike Keaton, it's like drafting at Talladega. They're all trying to use the draft to move in position. Vincent saw a move, ducked out of line. Now, Williams ducks out of line. 3 wide, he'll try to thread the needle. Couldn't pull it off. It's going to be Vincent going to 2nd, and stuck out to dry on the outside lane is Huffman as they come to the line. Oh, wow, what a race.
Dwayne Vincent moves into the number 2 position. He tries to track down race leader Steve Ritter, but I tell you, Ritter's got to be thinking, keep on racing, boys. I'll continue leading.
Wow, Dwayne Vincent not backing down. He's now trying to reel in, but here comes Huffman, and we got caution on the speedway. Mike Keaton, what's going on? Okay, my apologies. I thought we had a caution. I actually had a car come on the pit road. Meanwhile, they're going to battle it out. Ritter leads him in the corner, but there's still 3 cars duking it out for 2nd, going to 1.
Did you see R.J. Williams in the 21 machine sticking on the outside of Huffman going into 1? He couldn't quite make the position stick, but man, R.J. Williams looking to do it on the outside.
Time is running out here in the late going, now less than 25. They make it 30, 35, 32 laps to go here at Chicagoland Speedway. I was trying to do the math in my head while still calling the race. Ritter, Vincent, Huffman, Williams go top 5. And here comes the ETV Live Radio, Rock Radio 21 Chevrolet. Trying to make a move on, and Landon Huffman, he's the points leader in the chase. They're single file on the back chute.
Still single file, the top 4. Again, got to remind you, 3 out of the top 4 is in position for the championship. R.J. Williams sitting 4th. Landon Huffman 3rd. Dwayne Vincent 2nd, but he's out of the chase. And also Steve Ritter's out of the chase.
And a bomb in the back of the pack, and for 10th through 12th, Glenn Campbell, the Rhinestone Cowboy, gets into John Abbott. Abbott's car goes to pit road. He's drifting backwards big time, and now he's on to pit road. Let's go to Joshua Harbinson. What's going on with the race department? Nikon Pictures Chevrolet of Abbott.
Yeah, it's just not handling like he wants it to. He drove it in too hard trying to keep up, so he's going to try and get some tires, make a few adjustments, get some fuel, and get back out there and see what he can do.
Meanwhile, we got a battle for the lead. Thank you so much on pit road. Here comes Vincent to the inside. He'll take the lead from the machine of Ritter as they go into 1 and 2. Here comes Huffman. Huffman will go to the inside of Ritter. They'll battle door to door for the second spot. Meanwhile, Dwayne Vincent opened it up half a car length, maybe more. Huffman now battles Ritter for the number 1 spot as he goes to P2. They are going single file 9 of 4 with 79 on the board this time by. All this is getting exciting, Mike Keating.
And just behind, Chad Cole has caught the field. He passed R.J. Williams just a lap ago. Put an impressive mood. It kind of looked like R.J. might be saving a little bit of fuel there. But nonetheless, Chad Cole, move him up to the number 4 spot. Chad sitting second in points.
Keith Brooks Jr., the 71 car, gets out of the way. The leader says, you guys have at it. Boys, have at it. It's for y'all's for the taking. Vincent, he's in the lead now. That'll make the 5th lead change of the event. Huffman second, Ritter third. Meanwhile, contact in the back for 4th and 5th. Cole and Williams fighting on it like it's the last piece of chicken on the dinner table. Big time as they go to turn 1.
R.J. Williams shaping up the inside of that racing surface at Chicago. Comes up near side to the 17. Doesn't make contact, but they're rocketing down the back stretch into turn 3.
Oh, it's heating up now. Vincent, Huffman, and Ritter. Now your top 3. Ritter trying to now reel back in the second place leader of Huffman and Vincent. Vincent leads in the Silver Bullet Orange 13 car Chevrolet. He's in turn number 1. And by the way, looking for more sponsors on the Dwayne Vincent ride. As you can see, not many sponsors on that Chevrolet. But Huffman, Ritter, Williams, Cole, they're going at it. Top 5. That's the way they battle. We'll come to the line. It'll be lap number 82 this time by.
Landon Huffman just a few ticks faster than that race leader, Dwayne Vincent, who continues to lead here at Chicago. He's coming to the line to complete lap number 82 with a 31.437 to Landon Huffman's 5.39. So just a tick faster now is Dwayne Vincent.
The battle going on in the back of the pack. Kel Trask back in the 45. David Lanza winner last week at Richmond. They're making a move on the lap machine of Randall Watkins in the Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet. He'll go to the outside lane. Meanwhile, that lap car gets out of harm's way. Dress back. Lanza, that's for Sinead. That's heating up as they go into turn 3.
42 laps since these guys pitted. As we see the 33 machine getting down low in 8th spot, he comes down pit road, rolling that car up to about 45 miles an hour. You gotta wonder, Wesley, 42 lap run, when these leaders are gonna pit. But I tell you, it's gonna be tough for them to do that because they guys are racing nose to tail.
I understand Joshua Harbison, that the crew chief on the Huffman ride, is saying they're going to throw a wrench on the racetrack if need be to have a caution flag. But right now, no, I'm just kidding. Vincent's leading. What's the Huffman crew saying? Do they have enough fuel to go to the end of the race?
They say it's going to be close. You can't really save fuel running that, trying to catch that car. It's going to be close, so we'll see what they do.
They have to pit. They have to pit. One man takes advantage of it. David Lanza onto pit road, off of pit road. He just adds a splash of Sunoco race fuel, and he's back out there ready to go again in the dogfight. The guys from 11th, 12th, 13th, the top 15 almost, they give up, David Lanza gave up a great spot, but could it be the gamble to get him the win? More cars coming on the pit road as well. Let's throw it back to Mike Keaton.
Ronnie Potts in that number 2 machine, Bone Collector Chevrolet, coming down pit road, 45 miles an hour is the speed. He's looking for fuel only as well here. Green flag pit stops underway here at Chicagoland Speedway. Wes?
Oh, you're exactly right. It's definitely hot and heated here at Chicagoland, and it's coming down to the wire. Everybody has got to pit. I want to throw in the executive producer, J.D. Webb, real quickly. J.D., what is everybody saying in the chat box? Are they going to have to pit, or is everybody going to try to make a run for the checkers? I'm sorry, Joshua Harbison. What are they saying, buddy? More cars are slowly but surely coming to pit road. Are they going to have to pit?
We're going to have to pit.
Looking at the calculator, working the numbers here down here at Race Central, I believe everybody's going to have to pit here, especially the leaders, guys. 42, 45 laps from that last caution, so it ain't over yet, cowboy. The fat lady has not got up to sing.
And what a race we've got to. Lap 87, 20 laps to go. Do not go anywhere. Do not touch that set on your laptop. Do not change a thing. This is wild racing. This is better than the real Sprint Cup race yesterday, which was a snooze and a Saul Keselowski win. Sim race is awesome. The real one put me to sleep. Meanwhile, Ritter under attack. He's going to put more lap cars a lap down. The ET Vibe 65 of Ed Williams Jr. goes a lap down. Here comes Huffman, Williams. They're all duking it out as they go to turn 3.
Dwayne Vincent leading this race here in Chicago, trying to put every bit of lap traffic he can behind him so Landon Huffman can deal with it. But Landon getting through it just okay. He's still about 6-7 car lengths behind the leader.
They have got to pit. When are they going to pit? That's the question. Time is running out. It's of the essence here at Chicagoland Speedway with now less than 18 laps to go here in the late running of the race at Chicago. 107 laps is the distance. They are going on about a 50-lap green flag run. It was around the 30th lap when we had the last caution flag. Vincent, Huffman, Williams, Cole, Campbell. Oh, wow. Rhinestone Cowboy Glenn Campbell gets in the top 5. He could be the sleeper in this event, Mike, as they go to turn 1 for lap 90.
A lot of lap traffic these guys are dealing with, but here's the concern for Landon, for Vincent, and RJ. These guys having to maneuver through lap traffic, who could be on old tires or more fuel or new tires, and that's what you got to watch out for. Is the 21 machine may be gearing down to come down pit road this time? Yes, he's coming down, the 21 machine in third spot. He's not going to get into the pits. Oh, he barely gets in, but I'm telling you, he lost a lot of time gearing that baby down.
Just having to back the car down so he doesn't get busted for speeding on pit road. Joshua Harbinson made him lose 5 seconds. He's in front of you on pit road.
Yes, he brings that 21 car ETV live radio car down pit road. They're talking about 4 tires and fuel, just a splash of fuel just to finish off the race. And he overshot his pit bike, so it's going to cost him a little bit of time as the crew goes over the wall and starts changing that right side tires.
We got a wreck on the racetrack. 47 machine caution out. He's set 9th spot. Eric Arnold in the Navy Nuke machine making contact with the number, looks like the 7 machine of Timmy Logwood.
And you know who just got the break of the race, believe it or not? Say what you want. R.J. Williams. He came down the pit road. He was going a little too fast. Had to back it down. Then he overshot his pit stall, but he was able to complete his stop because the caution flag did not fall until Arnold's incident and the pit stop was done. Williams just got the sour end of the race, but Mike Keaton, he just got the darn break of the race in the same exchange. Caution out.
I'm looking at the leaderboard right now too, and as it looks, Wes, only 9 drivers being shown on the lead lap. Multiple cars 1 lap down, but it may change at the line when the leader crosses it.
You talk about the pit cycle, you talk about the race cycle and how things go. These men just received the break in the race, and just like that, as cars drop onto pit road, of course they are a lap down right now, but remember, they all have to go behind the toe of the pace car and complete another circuit. These other drivers have also got to come back around and go behind the pace car. Be looking out for the 21 of R.J. Williams. Him and Lanza probably made the smartest moves of the race. They're going to duke it out for this race for the finish.
Still trying to get Race Central to update the grid here. Right now, it's still showing Dwayne Vincent as the leader, but I'm sure that's going to change when they cross the line here. Man, I tell you, race officials very busy with that caution and who pitted, who hadn't pitted. The cycling here is going to be interesting to find out who takes over that number 1 spot here in the latter part of Chicagoland.
Len, I understand we've gotten the word Huffman beat Vincent off pit road. Joshua Harbinson, is that true?
Yes, sir. Landon Huffman had a pretty good pit stop, and so did Vincent, but Huffman with that better pit spot got across the line before Vincent did.
Thank you so much, and we're about to find out right now where the scoring loop is going to be set now, as here comes the field across the line, lap 93. Now you'll see the scoring pylon change. Watch your scoring monitor to the right of your video box, and as they see, let's see where they're going to change things up yet as everybody crosses the line. Wow, they have still not changed the monitor. Yes, here it goes. Huffman is now in the lead. Dwayne Vinson is in second. Chad Cole third. Jay Horton fourth. Glenn Campbell is in fifth. Followed by Wyatt Wolf, Timmy Longwood, Ed Williams Jr., Eric Arnold, Steve Ritter, and David Lanza, R.J. Williams. And they've still, I still think they ain't changed the scoring yet.
I know what happened. Just hearing from race confirmation, John Wessling, those guys were trapped one lap down. Believe it or not, they're being shown on the lead lap, but on the tail end of the lead lap. Man, what a tough break after all for R.J. Williams. That's what it is, man.
Wow, and I'm telling you what, you want to talk about Heartbreak Hotel. I really thought that with that caution flag, he would have got the break of the race after overshooting his pit stall, after having a slam on the brakes to come on the pit road. It would hurt his momentum, but he's still at the tail end of the lead lap. But I'm sorry, I don't agree with that one bit. I don't know who the officials are, but in my opinion, I would have thought he would have moved back into at least the top 3 or top 5 for the restart. But it's still a long way to go. We are now less than 12, 13 laps for the finish. Anything can happen here, Mike Keaton.
Absolutely, and just to clarify a little bit more, R.J. Williams was down pit road under green flag conditions, no harm, no foul, but the foul was that the pace car beat him off pit road, and that's what kept him behind the pace car. As you see now, he's speeding up with the rest of the guys around the track. But when we come back, green flag racing at Chicagoland Speedway.
All right, so we're getting ready to come for the green flag this time, Bobby. We're going to go to commercial break, but we're going to stay on the air, hopefully for the finish of this event. It will be 12 laps to go. Pace car lights are off the Ford Mustang. Oh, man. Race Central, J.D. Webb. It's shootout time, buddy. Round 1 of the chase. Everything has all got changed from here. Everybody's got fuel. Everybody can go the distance. Take us to the green flag, buddy, with 12 to go.
All right, Chicagoland Speedway, real sim racing, full throttle Cup Series. I'll tell you what, get ready to go full throttle while we send it on down to the bad boy. Magic fingers on the camera. Let's crank this one up, boys.
With 12 to go, crank it up. Oh, we got trouble. We've got trouble on the racetrack.
Bad news, R.D. Williams involved. Ritter involved.
Speedway, and R.J. Williams is caught up in it. You want to talk about desperation? Well, you want to talk about a last-minute scenario to get to the front? It just cost the ETV Live Radio, Rock Radio, Chevrolet.
R.J. Williams all bent in that machine. Also, Steve Ritter in the 16 car. Both cars out front, top 5, all race long, and a start from the back. Man, I tell you, tough break, Mr. Williams.
I'm trying to look on the replay to see what happened, and it looked like Ritter and Williams. Oh, wow. Contact on the front straightaway. Ritter went to the bottom. Well, I'm sorry, not Ritter. Williams went to the bottom on Ritter. They make contact, and now they both go up in smoke here in the late rally of the event. And guess who's back in the lead? The man who led at the early going, Landon Huffman in the 75 car. Wow.
It almost looks like Ritter flat spotted the tires, and because that car just went straight to the right, and that's where R.J. Williams had planned to go, was straight to the right, and it did not work out.
All right, well, now we can take a quick commercial break as the caution flag is out. They're going to clean things up. Some cars in the back of the back will make lead lap and pit stops as Steve Ritter's already on the pit road. We'll go to pit road 2 and take a break and get ready for a wild 10-lap finish. You're tuned in to the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series Round 1 of the Chase from Chicagoland Speedway. This is the ETV Live Online Auto Sports Entertainment Network. Dude, there's like 18 people in the chat box. Or 18 people watching the race. Hey, welcome back to ETV Live Auto Sports Online Auto Sports Entertainment Network. I'm Wesley Outland, Command Central, JD Webb. I know Mike Keaton has stepped away for a moment. And again, we are under the caution flag. Yellow flag fell after the incidents between the 21 of R.J. Williams and the 16 of Steve Ritter. Heartbreak Hotel in the event of the late rally. And sometimes, J.D. Webb, you get a little impatient. You see that in the chase, and it just happened to Ritter and Williams on that restart.
Yeah, it really does, and I tell you, that's quite some concern for that 21 crew of R.J. Williams. You know, he set himself up real good for this chase, sitting fourth in points. Man, I tell you, Heartbreak Hotel, you ain't kidding. 21 machine going to have to rebound big time next week at Loudon, New Hampshire.
That should be an exciting event at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and going from an International Speedway Corporation track to a Speedway Motorsports Incorporated track. And it's a 1 mile, solid 1 mile oval, dock off a half. Should be an exciting event. I believe we're going to go 150 laps of racing there next Monday night. Race 2 of the chase for the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series Championship. And who's going to get that Bob Earl Racing seat valued at almost $400, being the season champion when it's all said and done. Hey, remember, tune in every Tuesday night at 9:30 Eastern to the Open Paddock, everything with the IndyCar, talk of the Izod IndyCar Series. And I believe we have a champion of the IndyCar Series after Saturday's events. I believe, Sean Peachin. I'm not going to give out any secrets. Sean Peachin can tell you all about it, as well as his company. They'll talk about the Izod IndyCar Series, the Mazda Road to Indy, the Infinity Pro Lights program, and much, much more. IndyCar Talk. Well, I'll just give it away. Ryan Hunter-Ray is the 2012 Izod IndyCar Series champion, but he'll have a whole lot more in-depth information on Open Paddock. That's at 9:30 on Tuesday night on the ETV Live Online Auto Sports Entertainment Network. And don't forget about the Pit Report. Give it a recap of all the events that have happened over the week. Friday nights at 7 with Dakota Ehrman and J.D. Webb, also on ETV Live Radio, Tuned In Radio, iTunes Radio, Windows Media Guide, and HD Radio Network. Wow. Now that we got all the promos out of the way, Mike Keaton, we might be looking possibly in an overtime if we get another caution, Hoss.
Just depending on if it flies or if it falls in the right spot at the right time. I tell you, though, Chad Cole looking in great shape starting on the outside of that number 75 machine of Landon Huffman, and then directly behind Huffman, he's no stranger to the lead. He led a couple of laps tonight. That's the RaceSkins.com Chevrolet belonging to no other than Dwayne Vincent. And outside him, where did he come from? Part of the Huffman Racing Team crew. 83 car belongs to Jay Horton, who starts outside.
Caution lights are off the pace car. We're going to come to a restart, this time by Huffman, Cole, Vincent, Horton, and Campbell are your top 5 starters. What do you say now as the pace car drops onto pit road? This time by, as they'll come to the restart, it'll be a 6-lap shootout. Race 1 in the chase for the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series Championship. 107 laps the distance, and yes, we can go into overdrive if need be. Pace car gets ready to accelerate, pull away from the field, and magic fingers John Wessling. I know that Williams and Ritter spoiled your cranking up the last time. Here they come. Let's try it one more time. Pace car, Mustang, it's out of the way. Crank it up, the restart with 6 laps to go in Chicagoland. Time is running out. We've got 5 laps to go. Huffman and Vincent battle it out for the lead. Meanwhile, Chad Cole dukes it out for second as they go into turn 2.
Landon Huffman coming to a comfortable lead, coming out of 2. He's got about 8 car lengths, put it half a second over Dwayne Vincent as Chad Cole works the number 2 spot.
Time is running out. Vincent's got it. Cole wants it to DeWalt Power Tools Chevrolet. Puts the bumper to the 13 of Vincent. Vincent not backing down. He's in second. We got 1 car on the bottom, the 10 car, John Abbott. Abbott's car off the pace. What's going on, Mike Rowe, with the 10 car?
The number 10 car, John Abbott, just a little bit tight. He's concerned with that right front from where he hit the wall earlier. He's trying to hang on to a top 10 spot. But meanwhile, back up front, the number 2 spot being taken over by the DeWalt Ford machine of Chad Cole going down the front stretch.
These guys are battling out like it's the last piece of chicken on the dinner table. We're 3 laps to go. Cole drifts in front of Vincent. Cole goes to second. Vincent about got up into the wall. He had to back off the throttle. Here comes Rhinestone Cowboy 44, Glenn Campbell. He's coming hard to run down. We might have a 3-car battle for second, and they'll come to the line for 3 to go this time by.
3 laps to go here at Chicagoland Speedway. If the caution were to come out now, it would end as is. Landon Huffman leading the race, about a 1-second lead over Chad Cole in the DeWalt Ford machine. I don't know if he's got the guns to bring him in.
Oh, they'll come out of turn number 4. If the caution falls, you're exactly right. The race will be over. Where have I been? I thought there was overdrive in extra laps, but I guess not. Huffman, Cole, Vincent, they're going to duke it out, the top 3. And Huffman on his way to the 2 to go indication this time by. He's holding off everybody in second. Cole holding off Vincent for third. They're in turn 1.
Huffman racing fans, cross your fingers and hope for not a blowout. That's the only thing that Huffman could lose this race on, is a blowout, because he's pulled out to about a 2 and 0.2 tenths away from Chad Cole, who sits second.
Coming down to the line, white flag is in the air. 1 more lap to go.
White flag on the speedway at Chicagoland Speedway. This is it. Landon Huffman, race leader, in second. Chad Cole, Dwayne Vincent, all single file all the way back to 10th spot.
Nobody is breaking out of line as they come into turn number 3. 107 laps on the board, and the winner in race number 1 of the chase for the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series Championship and the Bob Earl Race seat valued at $400 will be Landon Huffman in his Chevrolet 75. Huffman goes 1. Chad Cole will finish in second. Third will go to Dwayne Vincent. Fourth to Glenn Campbell and Jay Horton, the top 5.
And just to finish out the top 10, White Wolf Jr., wow, what a finish for him. 6th spot, R.C. Rigdon in that lime green machine, finishing 7th. Ed Williams Jr., hey, great race, man, finishing 8th. Kel Dresbach in the 45 Chevrolet finishing ninth and rounding out the top 10. A lot of trouble, a little bit of trouble tonight later in the race, but a lot of trouble early on was Ronnie Potts, who finished in 10th.
Joshua Harbinson, what a great job by Landon Huffman. What's the crew saying as they all come back on the pit road celebrating?
They knew they had a good car. They were just waiting for their time to shine, and they got it. They're just thrilled about this win.
What a race at Chicagoland Speedway. Wow. And don't go anywhere. We've got great, extensive post-race coverage with our top 3 finishers. Landon Huffman, Mike Keaton came into this event as the points leader, only had a 3-point lead. He will increase that lead in the chase for the championship and the run for the Bob Earl race seat after the conclusion of November the 17th, 2012 at Homestead when we crown the champion. Landon Huffman doing the burnout, doing the celebration. He wins big at Chicagoland Speedway.
And Chad Cole, who came into the nice race, second spot in points. He finished second tonight. Great race for him. Now, just to run you through some of the other guys, like Guy Snyder, who sits third in points. He finished 16th tonight. R.J. Williams, the tough break for him. He fell out into the 18th spot. He was sitting fourth in points. Jay Horton, solid finish for him. Move him up probably to the third spot in points. He finished fifth tonight.
Absolutely. Jimmy North, thank you so much for the kudos on our broadcast, man. We appreciate you tuning in as well as everybody else as well. Extensive post-race coverage when we come back after race number 1 of the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series is officially in the books at Chicagoland Speedway. Landon Huffman out of Newton, Hickory, North Carolina is your winner. We'll have him and the top 3 on when we come back from Chicagoland Speedway. You're tuned in to the ETV Online Auto Sports Entertainment Network. I think welcome back to ETV Live Online Auto Sports Entertainment Network post-race coverage after race number 1 in the chase from Chicagoland Speedway in Joliet, Illinois. I'm Wesley Outland. Alongside is Mike Keaton and, of course, Joshua Harbinson doing a great job on pit road. Executive producer is J.D. Webb, and our engineer making us totally sound good with all of the great racing action you saw here today is John Wesley. The race is in the books. Let's go to Joshua Harbinson on pit road, who's with our third-place finisher.
I'm sitting here with the number 13 car driver, Dwayne Vincent. Dwayne, tell us about that race. You got in the lead for a while, and how was all that?
Man, it was an awesome race, man. That was probably one of the best races I've been involved in this league, man. Yeah, I got out front. I was good on long runs, man. The short runs, I knew I had nothing for them, man. Landon and Chad ran a real good race, man. It was a blast.
Yeah, I guess if on the short runs, had those short cautions, you just couldn't get your car dialed in for the short runs?
Yeah, I mean, those guys can hot lap it better than I can, man. But I was pretty good on a long run. I needed some good 40-lap runs.
We still got a good, solid third place finish, and that's you got anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I want to thank racescans.com, all my teammates at Red Ass Chassis Works, and I'd like to say hello to my dad at home. I know he was watching. I hope he enjoyed it.
All right, well, there it is from Dwayne Vincent, the third place finisher here tonight. I'm going to send it over to Michael Keaton, who is standing by with Chad Cole. Mike?
Chad Cole, awesome race. Didn't quite get the position qualifying that you probably wanted, starting 10th tonight, but I tell you, that finishing result's got to be pretty happy for you.
Yeah, yes and no. Second's always good, but not good when I'm finishing second to Landon, and he's going to be the points leader here still. But yeah, qualifying, I messed up my first lap, had to reset back to the pit stall, and even my second lap, like you said, it was just I was a mess, to tell you the truth, to begin with, and luckily I was able to pick off some positions there, and long green runs did me good, like Dwayne had said, and just a good race. Nice to thought we were going to get some green stops in there at the end, but caution came out, kind of took that away. I was thinking maybe I'd get a good entry into the pit road, and maybe get them, but guess we'll never know.
Chad, some refer to you as Matt Kenseth in that old 17 DeWalt Ford machine, but I refer you to as the Mr. Consistency. So far in the league, man, you've really dialed that car in, week out. 8 top 5s, 10 top 10s, putting Landon Huffman to shame a little bit with those stats there, other than the wins and the poles. But man, I tell you, you got to be pretty comfortable sitting in, going to Loudon next week at New Hampshire. That track's is a real fun track, about 1 mile. And what kind of car you think you got for that race?
Probably not a good one. I really do not like Loudon at all. It's a very difficult track to get around, and you know, like I said, the top 10s and 5s are great to be ahead of Landon, but that doesn't really matter. There's only one category that matters, and that's in wins, and I think that's number 6 for him on the season. Just gonna have to just up my performance, I guess. Really, he's really stepped it up the last month or so, I feel, and I'm just gonna need to get in the practice servers more and turn more laps.
Well, Chad, 9 races to go. Who's gonna make it happen for you the next 9?
Oh, it's always the Team Man-Child Racing guys, Alonzo, Snyder, and Glenn Campbell now. And Edmonds at RSR for coming up with the idea of this Full Throttle series. It's an excellent series. I just love running it. Don't love getting beat by Landon, though, man. But also Bob Earl race seats for the end of the year championship prize.
Well, there you have it, folks, from Mr. Consistency. Chad Cole going to bring that Ford DeWalt machine to Loudon, New Hampshire next week, hoping to outskirt the Landon Huffman machine. But throwing it down to victory lane, celebrating the 6th win of the season, Wesley Outland standing by with Landon Huffman.
Oh, we're down here in Gatorade Victory Lane, and of course, he unbuckles the seat belts, takes off the 5-point safety harness, the Hans device, the helmet coming off. Got the crew chief get him a high five and get him a delicious swig of that Gatorade, the official soft drink here of the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series. And when it's all said and done, Landon Huffman going to victory lane. Landon, what a great way to start the chase. You led the race in the points in race to start the race 1. You win race 1 in fine fashion, sir.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. That's one of the best races I think I've been a part of on this sim service and in real sim racing. I enjoyed racing Dwayne and Chad and Steve and RJ and everybody that was up front there. It was getting down to it, and we were going to have some green flag pit stops there, so I don't know how it would have come out, but if it would have went green and we didn't have to pit there, I think Dwayne had me. I had used up all my tires, but it was a fun race. Definitely come down to strategy. All those guys had to take that wave around. I know I hate it for RJ. He had a really fast car, and I might have screwed him up there at the start when we pitted. I might have turned down into my stall a little too soon and messed him up pitting, and he missed his stall, and that's what got him back in the field to begin with. But overall, it was a good race and a lot of fun, and I think I'll be pretty good next week at New Hampshire, so we'll see.
Absolutely, and of course, it's got to be a great feeling being the points leader coming in to the chase after all the points and everything was shuffled out, and being now the leader and carrying that lead going to New Hampshire for race number 2. And let's talk about the race about midpoint, because there was a point in the race where you were really, really strong. You were dominant. And then after that second caution, when you came down the pit road, gave up the lead, you allowed the other drivers to come in and close you and get the point. Well, did you kind of back off there for that second half of the race? Because, you know, that last green flag run before the end of the race when we had that caution, it went almost 56 laps. Is that where you knew you needed to run single file and kind of take things easy and not use up your equipment too much?
Well, yeah, at the start, it's pretty easy to be consistent and run fast laps when you're by yourself like that. And they gave a little pressure on me there those first few laps, but I think they got to racing and let me get away from them a little bit. And it allowed me to be consistent and, really focus on hitting my line, so it was easier to save my tires to begin with, actually. Then once we pitted there and I got back in the field, I was trying to tell myself to save, but it's just hard having that want-to-go mentality, and you got to race behind those guys. And I probably shouldn't have drove Ritter like I did there on that second restart, I believe, or third restart, something like that. I drove him outside for probably, 3 laps or so, and it really hurt my right side tires, got them really hot, and so that hurt me, once we got settled in, and I had to let them cool back down, and by that time, everybody was bunched up, and I think Dwayne was driving it pretty hard there, and he got by me, and ended up getting by Ritter. And then once I got by Ritter, Dwayne was, a couple tenths in front of me, and I just didn't really have nothing for him. We were about even. And then the caution came out, which definitely shook everything up.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, man, savor the victory. Get ready for New Hampshire next Monday night in round number 2. You're going to go in over that points lead, and like you said, New Hampshire, you feel like you got a good run at that place as well. But throw out your sponsors here in Gatorade Victory Lane on the 75.
Well, I like to thank Huffman Racing. It's a lot of fun to be able to run this series with those guys, Chad Schilling, Jay Horton, RJ. We have a lot of fun hanging out and racing, and I'd like to thank Sim Seats for sponsoring me and my real racing as well as Sim Racing. Zach over there, he's a good guy. It's a awesome seat. It's really comfortable. I'd like to thank Bob Earl, Racing Seats, for sponsoring the series, and all the ETV guys for putting on the show they do every Monday night. It really gives us a something to look forward to, and something to look forward to get into the sea on Monday nights and race, and then go back and watch it. So
he wins from the pole and from dominating fine fashion, jumping out in the early going, never looking back, takes the checkered flag, leading the chase in race number 1 from North Carolina, Landon Huffman in Gatorade Victory Lane. Again, Huffman is your winner. Chad Cole was second. Dwayne Vincent was third. Glenn Campbell was fourth, and Jay Horton the top 5, followed by Wolf, Rigdon, Williams, Dresbach, and Potts. To pit road for final closing thoughts, Joshua Harbinson, what's your thoughts of the races? We'll get ready in the chase, race 2 at New Hampshire next week as we leave Chicagoland in the dust.
It's going to be interesting. We'll have to see what shapes up next week. Landon Huffman, he's showing that he's really, really strong. Chad Cole's showing that he's closing in, and he wants it just as bad as Huffman does.
Absolutely, and a great job you did on pit road. Final closing thoughts with Mike Keaton. Mike, what an awesome race here at Chicagoland, but I think New Hampshire is going to get even more intense and exciting as we go into round 2 next week.
Chad Cole goes into New Hampshire, guys, 9 points behind Landon Huffman. Jay Horton, Guy Snyder, 21, 22 points behind, respectively. Those guys have got to rebound. They got to go into New Hampshire with a new mindset, a new frame of mind, and they'll get it done. Just put that Huffman machine in the dust, kind of like what you said earlier. Chad Cole's got to get that behind him, and he's got to get out front.
Absolutely, and always a pleasure working with you guys. J.D. Webb, race number 1 is behind us in the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series. Chase to the Checkers. Race number 2 next Monday night at 9:30 for the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. It should be exciting, and great pages of racing history will be written once again for RSR Full Throttle Cup after we put this page and this chapter behind at Chicagoland. Close us out, buddy.
All right, just like we started out here tonight, 12 drivers, 10 races, 1 trophy, 1 in the bag from Chicagoland Speedway. Next chase race, number 2 from New Hampshire, Monday night, September 24th. And it looks like we may be broadcasting live qualifying that night, so tune in at 9 p.m. on ETV Live. Tomorrow night, 9:30 p.m. on ETV Live and ETV Live Radio, Open Paddock Live with Sean Peachin, J. Douglas Patterson, Mike Witzel, and crew. The IZOD IndyCar reports, the Mazda Road to Indy, and a little F1 news coming from around the globe. And then again, tune in on ETV Live Radio. And the winner is Motorsports with yours truly, Wesley Outland, working the booth tonight with Michael Keaton. Of course, you can join Wesley, Mike Neff, Justin Rosenau, and the winner is Motorsports Show on the ETV Live Radio every Monday night from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And we want to give a big thanks to Mike Keaton, Wesley Allen, Joshua Harbison on pit road tonight, John Westling, Magic Fingers, pushing the buttons, flag to flag on the camera for you tonight. Congratulations to all the winners, and we will see you next Monday night right back here on ETV Live.
Thank you.